Was it kind of your first date?
Mm, well, I think he asked to take me home, that he had borrowed a boyfriend's car, and he said, I can take you home.
Yeah.
So I thought that was fine. But my girlfriends told me, they said, he's wild. So then I was frightened. But I still liked the looks of him, so I thought I'd try it anyway.
And what was he like the first time?
He was just a perfect gentleman.
Yeah.
And he took me up to the door, and I took him in and introduced him to my mother. And then when he left, I said, "Oh, Mother, isn't he the best looking?" Well, she said, "He's all right. I don't see anything unusual."
And you started dating right after that?
Yes, yeah.
And where did you guys used to go on your dates? Do you remember any?
Oh,
any
yeah, we
place
always.
in particular you used to go?
Well, we always went to a picture show, and we either went to Pasadena or into Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But I like to go to Los Angeles because then we'd go to the Brown Derby, which was kind of a fancy little restaurant that everybody went to.
Right.
And so that was kind of what we do. We go to a movie and then we go to the Brown Derby.
And this was during high school?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, during high school, what was Bob like in high school?
Well, he was a lot of fun, but he wasn't much of a student.
What would he do when he wasn't in school? What did he like to do?
Oh, he liked to play pool, and he liked to go bowling,
Yeah.
and we even played tennis some.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then after high school, you went to SC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Bob?
Well, he hadn't made enough grades to go to SC, so he went to Pasadena coaching school.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got to be a senior, he came in as a freshman.
He finally made it to SC.
Yeah. So then the end of that year, I graduated, and he quit.
Okay.
And then he went to work for his dad. And it was a depression, and I couldn't find a teacher's job, and so we knew we wanted to get married.
Mm-hmm.
So we just decided to get married.
Now, how did your mom feel about all this?
Well, she thought he was a nice boy, but, you know, he was nothing unusual.
Do you remember when Bob used to come over after school and you'd be sitting there together? And your grandmother at the time, what was she like?
Well, she wanted me to marry an old man with a lot of money and a great big home.
Yeah. But Bob got along well with your mom and your grandmother?
Oh, yeah. No, my grandfather liked Winnie.
Now, what about your father?
Honey, he died when I was barely 5 years old. I don't remember him at all.
And your mother went to live with your grandparents?
Mm-hmm. We all did. My brother and I did.
And how did that work out okay?
Well, it wasn't very pleasant for the grandparents to have to take in another family when they just were free, and so, but they were real good. They made a nice home for us.
Now, what about the boys growing up? What do you remember about the boys growing up? Did you enjoy that when they were little?
Oh yeah, no, we were, but they were. I used to say disgustingly healthy.
Yeah.
When I left the hospital, I had a booklet and told him, so I thought I had to stay right by that book.
Yeah.
And they were put to bed at 2, and they were up at 3.
Yeah.
And I fed them just what they should have and right on time, and because of that, they were so healthy. They never get sleepy or tired. And I'd put them in their room, and then I'd look out the window later, and there they were out in the yard. They climbed out of the window, and then they just dropped. And fortunately, it was only one story.
Yeah.
Bill had all the ideas, and then he'd tell Tom to do it. Go on, do it. It won't hurt you. Go on, do it, Tommy. And he'd push him, and so Tommy thought he had to do whatever Billy told him to do.
Now, how was Bob with the boys? Was he?
Oh, he never thought they did anything wrong at all.
Yeah.
He'd come home and I said, well, Tommy broke his bicycle and so turned this over and spilled that. Oh, come on, boys, let's go out and fix the truck now. Come on, let's go out. So that was fine with me. They got him out of the house.
Well, would he take the boys places and so on?
Well, usually one at a time. He never would take two. I said, no, but you leave me home with two. Oh, there's Billy Boy. He was such a cute little boy, and all the girls liked Billy. My two little boys, and they had a good time together. Once in a while, the baby would do something, and Billy felt that he ought to protect him and take care of him, and he was very good about it. Oh, here's my grandfather and my little Tommy, my youngest boy. My grandfather came over from Scotland. His father said there was no opportunity in Scotland and they must come to America. This is a picture of the Deerdorfs. There's W.H. Deerdorf, and then his son, Winston. And then on the far right is Bernice. That's Mr. Deerdorf's wife.
He doesn't look like he's having a very good time. He didn't like going with W.H. much? Did Bob get along with W.H. very well?
Well, not too. You know, when he was an independent so-and-so. Here I am with my son Bill. I think he was about 4.5 months. At that point, he was rather a docile child and would even sit on my lap. Now you have a picture of my two boys together, Billy and Tommy, and their little girlfriend from across the street. They liked to have her come over, and then I, of course, would fix tea for them. In 1946, we took the two boys to Lake Tahoe. It was a great experience for them. They got to go out on a boat, and then their father took them, and they had a horseback ride, too. Here's Winston Deerdorf in front of his office building, Deerdorf Jackson. He was president for a number of years. He loved the Cadillac. Here are the 6 Deerdorf grandsons. We have no little girls. We're waiting for a little girl to come into our family.